Hey guys, I'm Combat Craig. Today we're talking about the 2024 VA cost of living increase. It's here, and that brings me into the first point. So the effective date is 12/1/2023, but we don't see it in our checks or direct deposits until January of 2024. So the VA does not pay ahead, they pay a month behind. So if you're looking for it now in mid-December, you're not going to see it because it's not going to show up until your January check. Now let's talk about the increase. It's going to be 3.2%. So anything that's tied to COLA, which is a lot, is going to get a 3.2% increase. If you have a question about is something tied to COLA and will it get an increase, you can look on the VA's website. You'll see everything that's tied to COLA. And if it's tied to COLA, you get a 3.2% increase. Now let's talk about this 3.2% increase. I've been feeling this for years now. Everything's gone up, but COLA hasn't gone up enough to keep up with it. It's based on the CPIW. They leave out important things like fuel and food. So it's not even accurate. But if we want our cost of living increase actually tied to inflation, we need to get on Congress and we need them to change the way this is calculated. We need to rally together so this is fair for everybody. Because right now, the way that is currently working, what they use and what they don't use to calculate COLA is a joke. This economy sucks. This inflation sucks. And I just wanted to get that out of the way before we go into the numbers. With that said, I'll take the 3.2% increase because I don't have a choice. I have to take it. And it's better than 0%. So I like to look for the positive. It's easy to go negative. If you like this kind of content, consider hitting the like button on this video and sharing it with another veteran. If you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my boot camp. There's a link below. And if you need medical evidence because you're missing it and your VA doctor won't write you a nexus or whatever, contact my med team. They can help you with the missing medical evidence. And I'm pointing because there's an email address in the description below. So let's go over these numbers and look at what a 3.2% increase looks like. If you have a 10 or a 20% VA disability rating, 10% is going to be 171.23, 20% is going to be 338.49. If you have a 10 or a 20% rating, that's for veteran alone because there is no dependence calculated into not service-connected, 0%, 10 or 20% ratings. If you have dependents, you want to crank up that rating to at least 30%. And how do you crank up that rating? You can start by joining my boot camp. That's a good place to start. I break it all down for you. And it's all about secondary VA claims for most of us. Presumptive claims usually aren't going to pay. Secondary claims are the easiest way to go. And you need to figure out what you have in your body, what you could file, does it pay, right? We don't want to go after claims and disabilities that don't pay any money because that's not going to get us higher. That's going to leave us at 10 or 20%. Moving on, I'm just going to go with the veteran alone numbers. So the first batch here is 30 to 60%. So veteran alone for 30% is 524.31. 40% is 755.28. 50% is 1,075.16. And 60% is 1,361.88. So you don't even crack $1,000 until you have a 50% rating for veteran alone. If you have dependents, that changes things. Also, at a 50% VA disability rating, you get free coverage, free health care from the VA for anything. So it doesn't need to be only service-connected stuff. It could be for anything. Another reason I encourage you to get up as high as possible and get a 50% VA disability rating and stop there for a while so you can enjoy these benefits. And by stop for a little while, I mean stop there for a little while until you keep figuring out how to play the game and get paid what you deserve. This isn't welfare. You served, you deserve, right? We signed, we 1%, we signed on the dotted line. And basically that said, if the military breaks us, the VA is going to take care of us. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. We got to play a bunch of games and stuff like that. So learn how to play the game. That's what it's all about. Veterans with a 70 to 100% VA disability rating for veteran alone. 70% is 1716.28. 80% is 1995.01. 90% is 2241.91. and 100% is 37, 37, 85. If you look at the difference between the last two, the 90% pay rate and the 100% pay rate, it's a gigantic difference. Is it 2241.91 to 3737.85? That's a huge jump. There's more games in the 90% rating. One thing that you may want to consider is filing a TDIU claim if you're stuck in the 90s and you can't crack out of it. You need to get to 95% because the VA rounds up and rounds down. 95% equals 100% VA disability rating. Keep TDIU in mind.